Have you ever heard the term document versus create when it comes to content? This is something that was made very famous by Gary Vaynerchuk. And when I first heard about it, I loved the concept, but I also didn't really quite get it or know how to actually apply it. So in today's video, if you're looking to become more real, more authentic, and really take people on your journey through your business as a coach, as a content creator, then stick around because I want to give you some ideas on what it looks like to actually apply this concept of documenting versus creating your content. What's going on, creator? Jen Johnson here, your high performance Christian business coach. And on this channel, I love teaching you all the things about how to clarify your message, create your content and your courses, your programs, so that you can go out there and put your unique dent in the universe and attract your dream clients. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so you and I can hang out here on the weekly. Let's talk about this. Documenting versus creating. What does that really mean? Creating content, a lot of people, especially up on YouTube, they're always creating content, and content is educational, it's informational, it's inspirational, it's entertaining, but ultimately it's letting your audience walk away learning something new, a takeaway that they can implement in their life, in their business, whatever you're known for, whatever you love to teach people. So again, on this channel, I love teaching all things about leadership, biblical leadership, how to lead like Jesus, as well as, email marketing and strategies and marketing and sales and content creation. I can teach you all of these things. And ultimately that is content creation. However, I also want to really be relatable and be authentic and show you inside my world as a coach, as a content creator. And that's where the documenting your journey really comes into play. Now, I don't know about you, but I am such a nerd when it comes to not only watching movies or watching TV shows. I love getting behind the scenes of those actual movies or TV shows. I want to know how it's made. I want to see all the green screen action. I want to see all the bloopers. I want to see them hanging out in their trailer, putting their makeup on. That is all more of documenting the journey of how a movie is created. So that's essentially what you get to do inside of your business. Now, you might be thinking, Jen, my life is not that exciting. Look, you live your life every single day. So to you, it may not be that exciting every single day, but to other people, to just step outside of their own world and to get into somebody else's, that is entertaining and that is exciting. I watch people all the time who are just showing off their dog, or they're just running around doing some shopping or whatever that looks like. It's great to get to know the people behind what they're up to in the world. It's really a fun way to create connection, to be relatable, and to share another side of yourself that will really attract dream clients to you. So for example, today I could go on my stories and go behind the scenes and talk about how I'm creating this YouTube video. I could actually take my camera into my bathroom and do stories and get my makeup going and show people, hey, I'm doing my makeup because I'm getting ready to record some YouTube videos. So you then can ask everybody, what are you up to today? This creates conversation, this creates connection. So behind the scenes is a really great way to start documenting your journey. I love it when I'm editing videos and I can share an editing trick, or I'm planning out my week and I can talk about, how I'm planning out my week, show people what that looks like, but then maybe provide a tip at the same time. So this is where you really get to have fun and play with it. And here's another thing. If you think you're boring, don't be boring. Choose to find the joy and excitement in everything that you're doing. And trust me, other people are going to find it super valuable and super entertaining. Now, another great way to document your journey is to actually share lessons you've learned or lessons you're learning in the moment. I love in the moment lessons because it's real time, it's right now. People get to really see you going through it and how you're coaching yourself through it. What are you learning? You can share the experience and you can actually share some insight and value and wisdom through the lesson as you're going through it. Now, also remember, there's so many other lessons you've learned. Write down 50 lessons you've learned that you could teach or share to your audience through your eyes, through, man, I wish I would have known this, because your audience is more than likely a few chapters behind you in the process of whatever you teach. So when you can teach through lessons from personal experience, that is going to be documenting the journey. I remember I had a launch, I think last year that I did. I had so many technical issues with that launch. Like, I literally just wanted to sit and cry because everything was coming up against me, and I was like, not today, Satan. So what I did though was, in the moment when I was feeling the feelings, when I was experiencing the experience and really looking to coach myself through it, I went live. And I talked about, man, do you ever struggle with tech issues? Do you ever feel like you're trying to create something and something keeps coming up against you that is preventing you from creating it, from causing it to hit the goal, to create the result? So how can you take what's going on in your world and actually go out there and create it as a lesson? That's just an example for you. I have many others that I have created on my journey as teaching moments, really looking at these lessons that are coming up as teaching moments. Another way to document journey is actually through personal development time. So if you are reading a book or a podcast, I know it's easy to want to regurgitate that information, and you always want to give credit where credit is due. However, what if you actually read a book and were really inspired, or it made you think of a time where you actually went through something similar? Then you can actually share from that experience. So really letting the personal development be a spark for you to allow you to come up with genuine, real, authentic ideas that you could take people on the journey with. You can document when that happened, or maybe it's something that's currently happening right now. So you can actually think, oh, wow, that is such a clever idea. So let me go walk people through that inside my stories. I actually had that happen to me just recently, or, I actually experienced this a year ago. So you can actually start to tell the story and use that, whatever you read or were listening to, as inspiration for the idea, but take the idea, make it your own, apply it to your own experience, and use that, whatever you read, as inspiration rather than regurgitation. Now, this next one, I actually have a really hard time with. I don't know why. My brain just finds it so counterintuitive to what I'm actually up to in the world and what I want to create. But what I want you to do is share other interests outside of what you do in your business. And I don't know about you, but it just seems counterintuitive. It seems not as productive. Like, what's the point of sharing with people that I'm a coffee lover, or my dog, or anything that's kind of outside of the scope of what it is that I do? Now, if you're building a personal brand, you want to create personal touch. So therefore, you want to be relatable, not just through what you do in your business or as a coach, but you want to be relatable in other ways, because you're going to attract people by those other qualities about you, by the fact that, you're a singer, or you love to work out, or, for me, I always talk about my quiet time and my Bible time. I can't tell you how many times people have connected with me because of the fact that I am a Christian woman, that I am a Christian in business. I have had clients hire me specifically because of that. It had nothing to do with what I was even going to talk to them or teach them or help them build out. Sure, they wanted that, but what really drew them to me was the fact that I stood for my beliefs, I stood for my values, and they found that they were in line with those. So I want you to make a list of, 5 or 10 different things that you really could start sharing that become part of your brand. I'll share with you here. I love coffee. I love sparkling water, which I used to hate, by the way, when I couldn't stand it. And it's like my favorite thing now. I actually am obsessed with cauliflower. Random, I know, but I actually will graze on cauliflower, raw cauliflower, all day, every day. It's like my favorite thing. So comment below. I want to know what some of your other outside interests are, so that we can get to know each other on a fun, personal level. Now, one of my favorite ways to actually document my journey is actually through telling life stories and tying it back to what's the lesson in this, or what's the way it's going to serve my audience for them to know this. So when it comes to storytelling, I always tell a story, but how is it relevant to your audience? You want to think when you're writing a story, how is it relevant to your audience? So let me give you an example. I took my kids ice skating, and I wrote this email a couple years back, and I remember taking my kids ice skating for the first time. My daughter figured it out in 20 minutes, already good to go on her own. My son was a fish out of water. He could not get on his feet no matter how much you tried. It wasn't natural to him. And I remember him looking up at me with his sad little eyes and saying, "Mommy, how come Abby is so much better at this than I am?" Oh, hurt my heart, right? But immediately my audience can relate to that. And I immediately switched to, does this sound familiar? Are you copying and comparing? Are you looking at someone else's chapter thinking, gosh, why am I not there yet? So that's a great way to be able to storytell with relevancy and document your journey and be relatable, but also really be contributing and making an impact and educating and inspiring your audience at the same time. So just to recap, take people behind the scenes. They will love it. Also, be sure to share your lessons and your experiences. As you're personally developing, reading books and content, how does that apply to you personally, and how can you share it through a personal touch? And also, be sure to think of what else is going on in your life that you can turn into an educational piece while documenting the journey. And lastly, just don't overthink it. Start creating. If you think it's weird that you're cooking dinner in the kitchen and you're going to document that, do it anyways. This is the process. It's the way to transform is to actually step into a new way of doing things. The way to create a new result is to sometimes try something new. So it may feel funny at first, it may feel odd, but as you start getting responses, as you start getting feedback from it, it's going to inspire you to keep going. And I would love to have you join us inside my private Facebook community, Your Creators Corner. This is where hundreds and hundreds of Christian entrepreneurs, content creators, coaches join to be able to learn how to grow their faith and their business, keeping God at the center of everything that we do. I am huge on leadership. We discuss how to rise as leaders inside that community, as well as doing things like Faith Fridays and also being able to support each other in a safe environment. So definitely feel free to hop over to yourcreatorscorner.com, answer the questions so that I can instantly support you and send you the initial welcome members kit. And as always, God bless, keep the faith, impact the world, and I will see you next time.